Right when I wake up, I'm feeling way too much, hoping I can work my way around.
Hello. So it's been a minute since I have updated you guys on what's going on. A lot. Most of it's good. Since the last time that I spoke with everyone, we got through Thanksgiving, we got through Christmas. We are in that fun phase between Christmas and New Year's right now. Um, Doing a lot better. I had a little bit of an almost setback kind of thing happen where overnight I had a minor seizure a few weeks back. I don't remember it, but I really messed up my finger. I ended up having to go to the emergency room. I thought it was broken. It turns out it was just a really damaged ligament. I was in a splint for a while. That's off now. It was not fun. So I do have to see a neurologist as opposed to a neurosurgeon later this week just to follow up on what's going on with all of that and, what needs to be done in terms of seizure prevention. But overall, I'm doing a lot better. I've been actually cleared, believe it or not, to go back to work after winter break is over. So next week I will be back in my classroom again. Seems like a weird thing to be excited about. Yeah, I get to work, but I've really missed working, especially when I'm not as sedated as I was in the early days and I'm able to think and be a little more clear and not move the way I used to, but move around a bit. It's hard sitting around knowing there's stuff to be done and you're not able to do it. It's really frustrating. I'm not the kind of person who likes to just sit around, and this whole living as an invalid thing has been really, really frustrating for me, especially recently. So I'm really excited to be getting back to action again. I have been teaching some of my private students again for the last couple of weeks virtually, which was a huge victory because it sounds crazy, but I'd been scared of what it would be like to go back to teaching and what happens if I can't remember the terms for things, or what if my fingers don't move the same way as they used to, or I can't, remember how to sing things correctly or explain things or articulate them the way that I want to. And I haven't had a problem yet. It's been hugely affirming to know that mentally I'm basically still there. Every now and then I do stumble for words, things like that, but it's nothing near what it could have been. So I'm ready. Yay. Other than that, things are pretty much back to normal. The only downside I have is that I do have a tendency to have really, really good days where I have a lot of energy and then I regret it the next day. And I have friends and family who will look at me and they're like, Vashti, you're going to pay for this tomorrow because you're doing too much. And then the next day I'll be like, I can't get out of bed. And I will eventually, but it's like, I don't have the stamina that I used to. And sometimes when I'm feeling well, I'll think, yes, I can do this and I can do this and let's go do this. And no. So it has been a huge relief to be at the point where I have more energy and I'm more active. But sometimes I have to remember that I don't have the same energy and the same vitality that I did before they sliced my head open and before I started having all the weird side effects from the meningioma. So I'm relieved about that. Oh, other big news. I had my update scan, my CAT scan. Every 3 months they're going to do either a CAT or an MRI because, again, my meningioma was found to be a stage 2, which means it was not good. And that it could come back with other things that are even less good. So they're going to keep checking that forever, every few months. So that was kind of terrifying because it gets in my head. It's just this, they give you the scan and then you get to worry about it for 4 days until you get the results, which is always fun. But I was really relieved that, one, there were no weird abnormalities post-surgery, nothing swelling or out of place. Everything is exactly where it's supposed to be. And there are no new tumor growths or signs of anything starting to grow, which is such a relief. So not dealing with that until the end of February, where I get rescanned again, is a huge relief. So all is well in my head right now. But it is a little annoying thinking that I have to watch the specter of cancerous tumors every couple of months for the rest of my life, or wonder, oh, does this headache mean something's going on, or is it just a headache? So that's just a reality, but for now I'm in celebration mode because all is well. So that's a relief. My family is doing really well. We've been very celebratory this holiday season because, as we keep saying over and over again, it's not about the material things, it's not about the events, it's just that we're all together and healthy and everything is going well. We have such an appreciation for each other and for everything going on that I don't think we ever did before this whole ordeal started. So, in that regard, it's been kind of a blessing. And just seeing how many people have really reached out and embraced us during this whole time, it's been very humbling and very amazing. My son in particular, we could not have made it through all of this without the people who have stepped up and reached out to him and kept him occupied, made sure he was on point when I couldn't quite be there, just kept him going. Um, One family in particular, the Neely family, I thank God for them every day because they basically embraced him as if he were his own. They took him to every family kind of activity, every kind of holiday activity. You know, they loved him as if he were their own son, and I'll never forget that because I don't know what kind of trauma there would have been for a 12-year-old boy to have to witness all of this and not have those bits of normalcy that they provided for him, and I'll never forget that. Never, and I know he won't either. My husband has been the rock through this entire experience, and just being clear enough to remember these things now. Just there were times when I couldn't walk. Literally, I'd make a few steps and I couldn't make it. I would have to sit down, and he would get me. He's waited on me hand and foot through this whole process. You know, through my whole medications. At the beginning, I was on round the clock medication. He would set alarms off for 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning to make sure that everything was the way it was supposed to be and we didn't miss a beat. Drove me to every appointment, took off work through this whole ordeal so that I wouldn't be left alone for a second because it was dangerous to leave me unattended in those early stages. Um, Made me do my physical and occupational therapy homework at home. Sometimes I thought we were going a little rough on the physical therapy with the whole, come on, you can do more than what the therapist said. You've got this. But you know what? I could. So I'll always remember that. Just having someone there to feed you and help you with the little things that you take for granted and you can't do anymore physically and you can't think through the steps anymore. I don't know if I'd be here today without his help. So it's been a crazy few months, but I'm in a good place right now. I am excited, albeit a little apprehensive about my return to work. I think I've got the stamina to do it, but I'm gonna have to remember to take things slower than I used to. But I'm happy to be back at it again. It's been a long journey and it's nowhere near over. And I will keep updating you all because this is a marathon and not a sprint. But I've come a long way since I'm realizing my surgery was 2 months ago today. I have come a long way in these 2 months. So I'm blessed, I'm grateful, and I appreciate you coming with me on this journey just to keep updated on what's going on, or just to find out if you're someone who's going through a similar thing, what it's like for someone going on this road. I do appreciate it. So that's really all I have to share for now. I will catch up with you all later. Peace and love.